Mr. Watson, sir. I guess through different media, I guess we heard that you had a hotel room next to the fitness center out there in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, right.
And you got a kind of a one-chance encounter with the POTUS, the President of the United States. Kind of tell us about that.
One in a lifetime chance. My room, was located right next to the fitness center at the Hyatt in Pittsburgh. And the night before, they came to my room. The
Secret
general
Service?
manager. No, the general manager of the hotel
general manager?
came to me because it's actually the person that we work with.
Oh, wow.
So she came to me and she said, I need to talk to you about something. And first thing in my head, I'm thinking, oh, hell. What did one of my guys do? I figured one of the guys did something. So I went down and talked. She said, you're in room 227, and there's a dignitary coming tomorrow, so we need to sweep your room. So I said, okay. We can do that, politicians, So that night they came and they just kind of looked around a little bit, and I was good. She said they'll be here tomorrow morning at 5 of 7. 5 of 7 the next morning, they were knocking on the door. So I opened the door, and there was a person standing with a dog, and there was 4 people with him. So I stepped to the side, and they came in the room, and they just kind of went on around the room and did this search thing. They asked me to step out of the room, and I stepped out of the room, and they did the wand all up my everything, just kind of wanding around, and so I went through that. And then when they left, they went out. They still had my area secured because my room was right directly next to the fitness center. So I said to them, look, I have to go and turn on the sauna and let it run just to make sure that it's good for the fighters. They said, okay. So the head of security was with me. He followed me. I went in. I turned on the sauna, and when I walked out, I walked past the room. And again, the head of security was with me. So I said, is he in that room? I just said, he. He said, yes. I said, can I look in there? He said, yeah, you can look. But by that time, they had already frisked me. I walked to the door. I looked in. I really didn't see anybody. I said, can I go in there? He said, yeah. We walked through 12 security people, 6 on each side, and 1 Marine. I think he was a major because he had an oak leaf cluster on his shoulder, standing in front of the door. They all had the little thing in their ear. I walked right through them, walked in the room. He let me walk in the room, just held the door. I walked around the column, and there he was, sitting on a bike, pedaling, reading the newspaper. And I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what to do, what to say. I was in a room with the President of the United States, and I was dumbfounded. So I just stuck my hand out and I said, what's up?
Wow.
Well, he stuck his hand out and he said, how are you? I said, right now, sir, I'm honored. I said, that's what I was. Didn't know. He said, no, I'm honored. And I turned around and walked away, shaking a little bit, and walked out of the room. And I was like, damn, did that just happen? Shit.
Did you get a picture with him?
No.
Oh.
I didn't even think of telling him. I forgot my name. So I couldn't even tell him my name because I wasn't thinking of no picture. I was just thinking of what had just happened to me in my life. That would, to me, that's eternal.
Yeah, I'll
never forget that as long as I live.
Like I said, how many people, seriously, in our United States can count that they actually shook hands with the president?
Or walk in the room and he's sitting on the treadmill reading the newspaper. And I'm thinking, I said, now, was he reading that because he was memorizing that newspaper, or
did he want to update himself? Man.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. I will never forget that as long as I live, baby. And the first person I called was my mom.
Wow. I called my mom too.
I called mom and I told her. And she said, really? My mom's Jamaican. She said, for true? I said, really? She said, did you tell him I said hi? I said, no, Ma, I didn't. I ain't going back in there to tell him either. Probably can't get back in there.
Probably can't.
That was it.
Okay.